sat on the lower slopes of Mount Vesuvius, and in front of me is Naples, Napoli, and on the edge of that is Ischia, which is where my family come from, all the way back to 1783. And I've never really looked at this before, never really thought anything about it, and now sat here, looking out here, and looking where your family comes from, it makes me well up. So in the next few days, we're going to jump on a ferry, and we're going to go to the island and see where I come from, where my blood's from. So I sat here with an Italian beer, overlooking an Italian landscape, with an Italian name, and Italian forefathers over there. Cheers. Maybe my wanga, or my mountain, should be Mount Vesuvius from now on.
Until this point, have you felt more Welsh or Italian?
I've always felt Welsh, I suppose, but it's sort of and just with an Italian name, which just is a bit weird, isn't it? It's just your normal because that's what you grew up with. But you know, all the people around me who grew up didn't have an Italian name, and I don't know where it came from, but it's made me quite emotional as well. Maybe it's the beer.
How did you find out about your family tree?
Graham is married to Mitch, my cousin, and he does family trees. That's a hobby of his, and he's done some work on this branch of the tree, which is amazing, really. And looking at the tree, it's just blown me away. But also to see that those trees, you know, and trees the roots are huge, and they go wide and wide and wide, and you know, it's a lot of work just to find out a small amount of information. Just births and deaths, you know, it's weird that you can look at a person and their life is just summed up in a couple of words: birth and death, and that's it. So hopefully we'll go across the island and maybe find out some more information about what happened. You never know. Maybe find some graves, some people who are alive. I know there's a lot of Americans there's a lot of Italians or Patalanos in America, and our family story was that some of them came from America across to Wales, which on the family tree that is true. So when you look on Facebook, you see lots of Patalanos in New York, and maybe some of those are my family. Well, you can see from the family tree that is true. So maybe another trip is to New York. So I've just found out that my granddad came from New York after his father died, and also his sister, who was one, came with his mum, and his mum was originally from Newport in South Wales, and I don't know how they met. So he was born, great-granddad was born in Ischia and went to New York, and I don't know when they met, but she was from Newport in South Wales. So yeah, there's a lot of Patalanos travel around the world a bit.
So that was your great-grandparents.
Yes.
And your grandpa?
My grandpa was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Grandpa Tommaso?
Thomas Tommaso was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then when he was 4 came across to Wales, and then he married my grandma and had my dad. My dad married my mum, and then I came along
and married me. So Tommaso was born in 1906.
Yep.
And then his dad died 4 years later?
4 years later, and I think, well, just looking from births and deaths, that she decided that she didn't want to stay in New York and came back towards family in Wales.
And you didn't know any of that, did you?
I didn't know any of that. I mean, my family history has been a bit funny. It's been a bit of stories, you know, and some of the stories are true and some of the stories aren't true. So piecing it together as what's right. and what's fact and what's fiction. It's something that I've never really sat down and studied, and yeah, I mean, real history just down there. Just down there. Wow.
There's Ischia poking out of the bay, where the Patalano come from.
So here we are going on the way to Ischia. Helen's not here, she's gone to get a pizza or something for some lunch. They're trying to get us on, so I don't want to board without her. Because she can't get on the boat then. It's full of people around here selling stuff. We had people trying to charge us for finding us a parking space. People trying to sell socks on the side here. Yeah, this is Italy.
That was a close run thing. I just went and got Chris and I some food and turned round, came back to the car park and he wasn't there. He was just about to get on the ferry. Anyway, we're here.
It's a new experience. You got to do a 3-point turn inside a ferry. Okay.
Just so you know, we're in car deck 1.
But we're going to Ischia.
Phew!
Is it time for pizza and cake?
We made it together on the boat.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an adventure. We're going to go and see where the Patalanos come from.
Pizza? Artichoke.
Pizza.
Hey!
Hey!
We're off! Adventures to Ischia!
He's excited as a boy.
Today's adventures up Mount Vesuvius, and today to the islands.
Having made the decision to move to New Zealand, I think about the people that make decisions to move overseas and migrate like hundreds of years ago, like your family did. And I was just thinking, God, like for us it was hard enough as it was to make that decision, but we kind of knew that if it all went wrong we could get back on a plane and come back to the UK. And you know, before we went we did so much research. You know, we even looked at webcams of the sea of where we wanted to go and live nearby, you know, the Brighton surf webcam, and we checked out house prices and all sorts of things. And yet when you're going over to America or Italy or Wales or whatever in the 1800s,
Into the unknown.
you're just stepping into something you don't know. You've not, you know, there can't be that many people that have been over there, come back and can say, hey, it's like this.
Yeah, you might not
It's
even
kind
make
of-
it on big
And you're
square
unlikely
riggers.
to ever see your family again. And you kind of like, yeah, we've just jumped on this boat really quickly. And they would have made that decision and had to go by boat from here and then over to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Apparently the thinking was that people would go to America, make some money, and then come back and bring the money back with them. But I'm not sure that always worked out.
Yeah, hard life. You got to admire them, eh?
Before we get to Ischia, and I wonder how you say Ischia, Ischia, maybe. You got to stop at another island. So here we are. Stopped. Easily done. Things in the back is in there. in Forio in Ischia, or Ischia.
Which apparently is where Chris's family originally are from. Did I make you bored?
No, I was looking down the side there.
And the way you pronounce the island is Ischia, apparently.
Ischia. And we've been looking around and there's lots of green. I don't know if you can see the walls behind us, but they're made out of green rock. And there's rocks up on the hill which are pretty green too.
Apparently Ischia is known as the Green Isle. Some people might think that's because it's green and grassy, but it's apparently because of this rock. I don't know if you can see, it's actually really quite green.
It's very green. Just come across this church, 1847. Some of my family got married in this place in 1853. You never know, could even have been here. How mad is this? This is the home of the Patalanos. All a bit nuts, really. Walking past the council offices, we came in and had a quick chat with the lady there.
Using Google Translate.
Helen did a very good job and found out Patalano is a widespread name.
Popular as Smith.
So
But we've been told to come back on Monday morning, and of course we're here Friday evening. Luckily we've booked
a week.
We've basically booked a week to see how we go. Might leave earlier, but
Who knows?
gonna do some undigging, aren't
The
we?
Patalano.
The Patalano. It's a very pretty town anyway.
Very pretty name. We've been obsessing about names on people's post boxes, and we've found one. Patalano. 9, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56,
Chris
57,
is currently
58,
counting
59, 60, 61,
the number of Patalanos
62, 63, 64, 65,
on Facebook
67,
in Forio, the
68.
town where his family comes from.
68 Patalanos on Facebook who say they live in Forio. 69 because I'm living here tonight. Taking a little walk today up to the highest point on Ischia.
Ischia. And the mount is called?
I don't know.
Mount Ebola.
Ebola. Mount Ebola.
Mount Eboli. Anyway.
It's was started off very misty this morning, but the sun's come out now and it's burning it off.
To burn off.
It's gonna
We've
be
got
a
sun
cracker.
cream on for the first time in months.
It's going to be a cracker. It's filled with tunnels and things. Look. What are these used for? Quite cool in here. Chiseled out of the green hill.
One kilometre to go.
Ischia is known as the Green Isle because of these green rocks, and I'm quite pleased we're not here in peak heat season because it's warm enough as it is.
Yeah.
Seems like lots of the walks that we're doing are actually walks to churches and kind of pilgrimages for people. We're just enjoying being outside. All danger for those with a disconnected and slippery bottom.
I'm disconnected. Good.
Well, no view. Pretty cool catacomby things, eh? Or
Yeah.
honeycomb. Honeycomb. we've had our lunch and we've waited and we still don't get any view, so we're going to head down and warm up because it's a bit chilly up here in the clouds. Are you filming me?
Yeah. Ministry of Silly Walks. It's got surprisingly cold in the mist here. Didn't bring my gloves. Should have put those in.
I don't know, I'll let you know when I come careering towards you.
Slidey bottom.
You horror.
I'm hot.
Look at your video.
Yeah, somebody's left a bottle of wine outside as well.
Yeah. So it's a generator or a speaker in it.
Looks like a speaker, doesn't it?
And a big fireplace.
Does look like a mountain refuge.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
This is our path now. We decided we'd take a different one.
Don't please with yourself anymore.
Of course. It's not bad.
Well, all I can see is a very long drop down there. Pathway at this particular bit.
Yeah, be careful, yeah. I reckon as soon as we get to that post we'll be alright. Nice soil down there.
I'm very envious of their tillage. Photo request of some flowers, please.
He is big boy. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Look at that. That's huge. And for scale.
Maps Me's routes are usually a little more defined than this.
Well, it is a track though, look.
We are actually going down.
It got too sketchy and too steep. So
We've got slightly lost.
So we're now into a farmer's field.
And now we're going across the terraces.
Maps
which is
Me. Normally it's good.
not a sponsored advert. We have come out the cloud and we've got a view.
Back on the real track. Fun though.
Certainly is. That's what me and my grommet like doing, isn't it?
Yes.
We like exploring.
So it turns out the sun didn't burn the mist off.
No! In fact, it got worse as we went up there.
Look at these jackets.
It was sunny down the bottom.
We just walked through Calimera where we met a local farmer and he gave us a mandarin.
And told us that he grew red and white wine. And we played with his doggy. And this place means beautiful view. And it's been here since the 6th century BC.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, which is pretty old.
Come to the campsite. The campsite we knew that would take campers. And guess what? Out of season, it's shut. But luckily, they let us drop the toilet, which is good.
There's only about 2 or 3 campsites in this whole place. I think we're probably the only camper van on the island, so they're all going to be closed. Hey, we've got water from a spring and we've managed to drop our toilet off, so we're fine.
The toilet was disgusting.
Our poo. I love you, Lumpy. and they're all really smooth from having been kicked around by the sea and the sand. I was expecting them to be jaggedy, but they're not. And they're beautiful. I'm not sure I can do anything with them, but they're quite pretty. Oops, wrong one. Ischia is known for its thermal waters, and we just walked along the beach and come across this steaming pile of sand.
Doesn't look very inviting, but it's pretty warm. Pretty warm just standing here. It's amazing.
I still don't think I'm getting naked. I've just put my hand on the sand next to the fag end. It's boiling just here. Like actually really hot and wet. Like damp. Not water running through, but it's damp. That's hot.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be sitting here in your bikini. This is what somebody's done with their tails. Maybe I can do that too. Want to take them back to New Zealand first, though? It's funny being out of season in places. Most of the time, it's actually just really nice and quiet. Here, it is like dead town, and everything looks really tacky and knackered. And it's as if everybody just walked out at the end of season.
Right to the right of a sauna and beauty farm and all that hotness from the volcanoes around it.
And I find it really hard to imagine what this place is like when it's absolutely teeming with people in the summer. Full of people visiting the hot pools, swimming in the water, sitting on the beaches. And now we're about the only tourists in town, virtually. We did bump into a couple today, but not seen many.
A place to play tennis.
I don't know how many times a tennis ball goes into the sea or into the pool down below.
Wine is good, yeah?
Yeah, we don't know. Ischia wine.
Really light.
Yeah, I quite like it.
Yeah, I do too.
It's quite dry, quite drinkable. And we've got Ischia specials.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Little corn snacks. It's like biscuits.
Yeah.
Or pretzels without
Pretzels
the salt.
without the salt.
There's- Yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah.
nicer than pretzels then.
We just found
And
out
peanuts.
you need to go to the church in Forio.
That there used to be an Italian footballer called Patalano.
Who's the goalkeeper. He was good. This is Paolo, and he has helped us today, and he's going to give us a lot of information about the Patalano family.
He's
Yeah.
rung his friend who's a Patalano. He's
yeah.
told us which church to go to tomorrow. So we've
I
and he's given us some good wine.
Yeah. I hope you find a new cousin.
Yeah.
Maybe the family became biggest, yeah?
that would be good.
Why
Thank
not?
you. Grazie.
Grazie.
Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto. Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto.
This is the face of somebody trying to learn how to
Apprezzo
speak Italian
molto
from
Italiano.
Google Translate. Go
Apprezzo
for it,
molto
Boo.
il tuo aiuto. Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto. Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto.
He's trying to say,
Apprezzo
I appreciate your help very much in Italian.
Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to go and find him.
Apprezzo molto il tuo aiuto.
Drunk husband digging in the beach.
Good morning, back in Forio, and we're going to go and look for my long lost relies. Fingers crossed we find something.
Biscuit. I think it's filled with chocolate and then it's got pistachio cream on it. It's like a chocolatey brandy snack. pure sugar. I love it. It's really tasty. It's not too sweet, and it's obviously a little bit nutty. It's just kind of like a sweet fondant. Make me sick if I eat too much of it, but it's yummy.
It's a rum baba. This is a speciality of this region. That, you wouldn't think that is moist, but it's just like a wet sponge in your mouth. Very light, very wet, and quite mild.
Taste the rum?
Yeah.
You just see the rum running out.
That's a good choice.
I'll be illegal to drive now.
So I've just written out my family tree, and what I found out when I was doing that is that, you know, there's lots of birth dates and death dates, but there's no in between. There's no colouring in. There's no colouring in. So there's no life in it. Like people are born, people die, but why? Why didn't people move away? Why did they go to New York? What was happening in the history as we were? What was happening when people decided to do certain things? I hope that if I die, when I die, that my life isn't just a birth and a death. There were lots of things that happened in between. So I really would like to find out more about that. Amazing. So we've just spent 10 minutes in there, and we've spoken to some people who've tried to help us, but the person who normally looks at this type of stuff is not here till Thursday. Thursday is the day we're leaving. So they've taken our information and the family tree and the questions, and hopefully they will find something. But they wouldn't give us an email, they've just taken our email, so it might come to nothing, who knows. They don't know which church for us to go to, but luckily we had a lead yesterday, so we'll go and look at that church next. And all that was done in Italian, with nobody speaking English. And Google Translate not working inside the building because it couldn't get a signal. In Italian, and our Italian is zilch, or should I say, zilchio.
More huge vehicles. Council vehicles.
I don't know what it is, but seeing one of these police vehicles like this just wants me to pick it up and push it over.
It's actually about the right size for you, mini man. Makes you look actually quite big.
The house and the street are the Patalanos.
Look what we found.
I wonder then if we should go in this church.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we should walk down this street as well.
This is the church right next to Patalano Street. So you never know. Just need to find somebody now.
I thought I'd seen something on Google that said Tower of Patalano, so we looked it up again and it brought us here to this church, which is of course locked.
It's lunchtime.
It is lunchtime.
Priests have to eat.
Yeah. We're going to carry on looking for the church that Paolo told us about yesterday and see if we can find out something there.
Today's the day to go to the top of the hill. Not like yesterday. Spoke to a local and we were talking about what we're doing, and he said what the name is, and we went Patalano. He went,
Too many Patalanos.
don't you mean Smith?
It did not say do you mean Smith, but it means it's very, very common here.
Very common.
And the name of your granny's Carcatera and Migliocchio.
It's pretty common too.
Both common as well. I can't even say them.
That was good.
Chris has just been chatting up the local blokes who are sitting watching the balls being played, and we seem to have gone from, yes, we recognise the name of your great-great-grandmother, who somebody, Rosa and Vincenzo Carcatera, have got a boat taxi, is what we thought they said, and then all of a sudden they were beckoning a mate over and getting us into a taxi. We're like, why do we need a taxi?
Taxi for two. You can't speak Italian.
Leave the country now.
So we're going to the graveyard.
So we're going to go and have a look at the cemetery instead.
One of the guys from playing bulls has just stopped us in the car. He's now taking us somewhere. We don't know where. It's going to be fun.
So what, you just put in Google Translate?
I just put in Google Translate. We don't know where we're going, but thank you. He laughed and said, "Prego." Just been taken up the road, dropped out and told this is where all the Patalanos live around here.
Oh, but the first door we went to knock on, he went, no,
not that one.
Further down.
In our family are many, Giuseppe, Antonio, Francesco, ma Vincenzo Patalano, ma la famiglia Patalano, ci sta un Vincenzo Patalano che è partito da Forio il 25 agosto del 1910
E caro, chi è andato prima da qui?
e si è sposato con un'americana.
Noi siamo 910 e io sono 930.
So we are in a family home of Patalanos, but we're not sure if it's the right Patalanos. But there's a few in this area, so this lady is now going to find the other family and see what they say.
And we're waiting for the cousin to come who can speak English.
Good adventure. So this lovely family has said that we can take some videos in their house and put it on our video. And they are doing very well entertaining us and also looking for the family Patalano.
And have you said who they are?
I have not.
They are the Patalanos of the road. And they call Tutti, who is the one that can speak good English, who's a cousin who isn't a Patalano, but she's been here helping us, trying to work out any information. But she's also filled us in on some of the history of the island and why people left, and the jobs they did, and the earthquake that happened a couple of years ago. So yeah, we've had a very good time here.
Lo nonno nostro era Domenico Patalano, era sposato una castella di Merinda.
C'è la cucina, la candelina. E che la cucina
I tanti di scuola, Lucia, Elia, la cappellana, Francesca.
Nino D'Ambri,
Allora, mo questa qua, allora qua.
284.
So is this your family tree?
Yes.
Yeah, funny, so that we're looking at their family tree to see if there's any crossover, but he said 2 brothers married 2 sisters. And I laugh because Chris's family, 2 brothers married 2 sisters, and then the 3rd brother married a cousin. It's the same thing, but a different family.
No, loro stanno in Nuova Zelanda ma vengono dal Galles e venivano dall'America. We think maybe
Questa è un'omonimia,
we should look at Ada Patalano.
sì, chi non è una parente la di loro.
Perché praticamente lui dice che ovviamente di questa generazione qui loro sanno perché lui è John è il padre e poi il nonno è Thomas e Vincenzo è il bisnonno, quindi questo sa che il bisnonno si è trasferito da Forio, è nato nel 1861 a Forio, si è trasferito forse in America ha conosciuto alla bisnonna,
Sì.
si sono sposati e hanno avuto suo nonno, Thomas Patalano, che è il...
No, non è la famiglia
They
nostra.
have Domenico Patalano in their tree, and we don't, so we don't think they fit.
Scoprirono poco
Le radici.
Le radici, capito? Io penso che siamo, diciamo, questi qua non stanno più nella vostra
Grandfather of my mom, nonno Luigi. And then Domenico Patalano was the father of Luigi Patalano. Domenico Patalano has a brother, Antonio Patalano. So Domenico and Antonio were two brothers. They also had Giuseppe and Daniello, two other brothers, and two sisters, Concetta and Angelina.
Ma volevo cose solo, aspetta. In effetti, qua...
Questa è morta a pochi anni.
Ah, va bene, allora no. Niente, sono notizie certe, se no andiamo brancoliamo nel buio. Dai,
So he's on the phone to
Yes, he's trying to find
or
no,
another
to
family.
another family with the same surname.
Right, okay.
But he told
But not
him-
your family, or not
No,
their family.
not our family. He told him we need to very specific information, not confusing.
Yeah.
What we don't know is how accurate. So, our cousin who found out all the information, we think this is all the information, but we
Yes.
didn't think to ask beforehand if he was 100% sure. I don't know. I think he is, because he just said he wanted to know more information about
About
the
them.
brothers and sisters, or the brothers. So I think he's quite confident,
Yes.
because he's done lots of research.
What an afternoon and evening.
I know, that's just been completely mad. We come to have a debrief.
So the only reason we met these Patalanos is because we obviously saw we got dropped off by a random man picking us up and dropping us off.
And we went down the street and looked at every front door, and they weren't Patalanos. And we asked one lady, and she says, I don't live around here, I'm just visiting. And then there was another lady who just was sweeping her step, and I leant over and said, oh, do you speak English? And she said, a little bit. And anyway, I said, oh, my husband's a Patalano. And she said, I'm a Patalano. So we've just spent about, I don't know,
I don't even know what time it
maybe
is.
3 hours
9 o'clock
in
now.
their family home with them, calling their family and their friends, trying to help us. And in the end, we think that we're not related, but they were so keen to help us. They've been over backwards, haven't they?
Bent over backwards.
Yeah, they were
Now
really, really excited about trying to help us. And tomorrow we're going to meet up with Titi, the niece cousin, who's interested in genealogy, and she's going to take us to the cemetery to look and help us anyway.
Yeah.
So
What an adventure.
it's amazing. I just think how random it would be. Somebody banged on our doorbell or got us while we were doing the gardening and said, I'm looking for somebody with your name. And we'd be like, what?
We'd be like, come on in.
Yeah, probably would, but it feels weird. They've been amazing. So yes, time for a wine, a beer, pizza and a pasta.
See you tomorrow.
How fun is this? Just been coming out for a run. Tommaso Patalano and Paolo. I think we'll come back here later, because I think this is what Titi was telling us about yesterday, that there were some Patalanos over this side we should come and speak to. That's cool.
We have been around every single grave in this graveyard.
Taking photos of the graves of the Patalanos, the Carcateras and the Migliocchios. What I do notice is that there's lots of names are repeated. So you can really tell the families that come from this area. And then there are other names that you would think were Italian, not featured at all. So people tended to they're staying in the area, and the family kind of grows and grows. And lots of the graves are all quite well maintained and looked after, aren't they? I also quite like these. They've all, or a lot of them, most of them, have got photos of the people, and it kind of really brings it to life, the people that you're looking at, you know. And we don't tend to do that on graves, or, you know, you can sprinkle me and set fire to me, so it doesn't matter. But it is just quite nice to see the people behind the names that you're kind of like vaguely taking photos of. I don't think we've found
The ones.
We haven't really yet found the people who are connected, I don't think.
We're hoping that
With the names.
next door is a little bit older.
Next door graveyard.
Yeah, which is bigger.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Just been in to see
Francesco
We've just been in to see
Patalano.
Francesco Patalano, and the lady from last night said that we should come. Titi said we should come here and try. Now he looks pretty similar, I think, in face and the nose, and it reminds me of my granddad a little bit. This is other Patalanos, and hopefully, never know, he might be in the same family, the same nose look.
Francesco
Francesco
Patalano.
Patalano.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon. Grazie.
He says he's got a big family, and then he showed us he used to be on ships as a steward. We've got some photographs of those. But he thinks we should go to the municipal place down by the port. All roads lead back there.
So everybody suggests we go there, which is where we've been, and we're waiting for the man on Thursday to come in.
the day
So
we leave.
hopefully he will email us at some point with some more information.
Exciting day so far.
Yeah.
Ice cream of the trip. What have you got?
I have got cherry and lemon is speciality of the region. And it's lovely and creamy.
Grazie. And I've got cherry cake.
Ah. Good. Yeah.
Like a custardy cherry. It's quite heavy. It's good. Not really good at these explanations of food, are we?
Ooh.
Hard on the outside, fluffy on the inside, and very wet with a cream and cherry. Lovely. Washed down with a decaf Americano. Ischia.
Yeah.
He's doing very well.
Yeah.
Trying to keep that ice cream under control.
Gelato. It's got solid bits of chocolate and cherries in it. I've had a whole cherry. And this is kind of like really, really creamy, the lemon. It's not like ice cream at all.
Because it's little and guarda questo. Are you okay? I mean,
You're very tight on.
who do you think you are? Sorry. This guy, I know him very well, he knows me. He lives in Rome. So it's been like 3-4 years now he lives in Rome. Maybe he's getting used to the big streets of the capital city of Italy, but you see, little street.
You come in here, yeah.
That's San Vito, and hopefully we're going to go to the library, find some information out there. Guess what? To go to the town hall.
We're back. This is where I came earlier for a run. And Titi's just dropped us off.
So we're going to go and look at two more Patalano families.
And apparently there's another house up the road as well, which I missed.
Wish us luck.
Ma questa Gianni, allora ti passo un signore inglese, fammi capire bene che famiglia sta cercando. Si chiama come noi Patalano.
More Patalanos. So this is the place we were told to come to as well. There's a street next to
The garden
of the Myrtles.
Myrtles.
Yeah, and there are Patalanos all over the place.
Which is true, but we don't think any of them are related. One of the things we think about is the fact that Chris's cousin's husband has done such a good job of tracing the family tree back. Most other people don't know their own family trees, so we could be related, but they're very good at looking at the names and saying, no, we haven't got those names in our family, because it seems that each generation names after the grandparents, so their children are named after the grandparents, so they kind of go, no, you're not ours.
Yeah.
Is what we understand.
And we didn't know if that happened with my family, and then we keep looking at the family tree, and that is true also, because
Even though they've been anglicised.
my uncle is Vincent or Vincenzo, my dad is John or
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. And,
Is it Giuseppe or Giovanni?
Jean. And Edward has a
Francesco.
middle name of Francesco, so
It has been.
carried on. So there was a bit of Italian going on.
Chris should be called Tommaso.
It should be.
I'm going to start calling him Tommaso from now on.
To finish our search for today, because the mountain just got covered in black cloud, and the mist is coming down from the mountain down to the bottom, and it's meant to rain at some point. So let's walk back.
And it's suddenly gone cold.
It's gone cold. But a good day.
Yeah, good day.
It's just turned very stormy. Come into a tourist shop and I asked whether there was a Patalano wine, which there is, and this gentleman now, after looking at the family tree, says he may be part of this tree here.
Questa può essere, sì.
It's time to get the mop off.
Hopefully.
A look of enjoyment.
I think we're both a bit tired this morning. Not only all the hunting of Patalanos, but last night was a big storm, so there was thunder and rain and the wind was bashing the fan, and this morning everything is covered in sand and salt. And then of course this morning we were woken up again by the bin man, 2 days running. So gently does it this morning, but we're getting some water from the local water fountain and then we're off to find a hot water beach. I thought my hunting Patalano day was over today, but we came here as we'd been told this was the only place on the island that sold Patalano wine. So we went in and they said, oh, we are Patalanos, Giuseppe and Giovanni, which is names that are similar to Chris's great uncles. So I'm going back to the van to pick up the family tree. The hunt hasn't finished yet.
More Patalanos.
But not your family.
Not my family. Oh my god, it is freezing today. We've had a storm and we're now looking for, we're with more Patalanos and we're looking for another Patalano who might know more. Here he is.
Buongiorno.
More Patalanos.
Luigi and Giuseppe.
Yes.
Patalano. Trulio. Trulio.
After another morning of talking to Patalanos about Patalanos,
Too many Patalanos.
we're tired now. So we're driving or walking down this long beach.
So tired. He can't work out whether he's driving or walking.
So we're walking down to a beach, and apparently the beach has heated waters that run down the cliff and into the sea, and there should be rock pools that are hot. Fingers crossed. 200 steps down there. Please, please, please let the water be warm.
Because I'm not getting into my swimming costume if it's cold, because it's cold enough out here as it is. Please, please, please. Let there be no Patalanos to meet down the bottom. Hey, just want to chill out.
This is the extrovert. What's the introvert feeling like?
He's been out of his skin of introversion this week. Haven't you, Smoke?
I have.
Get in, it's not very warm. It's boiling bit. I can feel that coming up the bottom. I'm in.
Away from
did it. But we did choose a day where the wind is pretty chilly, and we got here when the sun had just gone off the water and off the changing area. But I'm pleased we did it. I got in, proved my mettle. But it did go from being uber hot, like you were burning yourself on a hot tap, to fresh. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's our last morning on Ischia, and it was a very stormy night last night, so neither of us slept much either, and woke up to a sandblasted van. And I'm not looking forward to the ferry journey. However, we went to the Comune for the last time today to see Francesco, who's supposed to be the man who does all the records, but unfortunately he's not there. Maybe this afternoon, maybe next week. So we have no idea whether he will be able to help us, but all roads led back to the Comune. And Titi, who helped us the other day, is actually going to go in there and see if she can have a go for us as well. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that this is not quite the end. But it is the end for us in terms of what we can do while we're here. So it's been good. Really enjoyed it.
My granddad, who was born in New York and then left New York when he was 4, came to the UK. Obviously wasn't very Italianised because he had a Welsh mother and his father was dead. And the name Patalano really hasn't meant that much before. But coming here has really cemented that you know, your roots are quite important, and speaking to all these people with the same name that comes from the same area, it's just blown me away a bit, really.
So something we have learned. So Chris has only really ever met his own family, Patalano. Nobody else you ever come across is called Patalano, unless you look on Facebook. There's quite a few people in America. But what we have learned this week is that there are 6 families of Patalano here, and so you also need to know your family nickname, and we only learned that yesterday, and we've got no idea whether we will ever find out the family nickname.
Yeah, so what my family nickname is, we know what the 6 family nicknames are, but which branch that we fit into, we don't know.
Yeah, and so most people took one look at Chris's family tree and could say immediately they weren't part of the family because they had other names, or the actual first names of the kids were different, because people just seem to keep the names in the family and call their kids the name of the grandparent.
Yeah, so you can follow the family tree because of the grandparent name.
Yeah, so often people said that wasn't their family anyway, but also it would be helpful if we knew the nickname as well. So that's, I think, the next thing to try is to actually to look at the records in Ellis Island, New York, and see whether Vincenzo was on his own or with his brothers, and whether there's any more information there.
To be continued. To be continued.
And we're handing it all over to Chris's cousin's husband, Graham, who did all the hard work in the first place. So we've learned a lot. We've had some good fun. We've met some really nice people, and we've had a great week here. But time to carry on the rest of our adventure now.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. He's sadly taking Italian lessons off me, so I don't think that might not be right either.
Well, it's not arrivederci, is it?
It's not got a B in it though.
Arrivederci. Ciao. Well, they're not tying them down to the floor, so it can't be that bumpy.
Hopefully the toilet won't explode out.
Storm has brought snow to the hills. Really enjoyed our stay here at Ischia. Thank you, all the people, all the Patalanos.
Yeah, big ups to the Patalanos, related or not.
Maybe see you again one day.
Do we say bienvenue?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci, that's the one. Arrivederci. Next stop, Roma.
Hello.